I'm Glenn Campbell, coming to you from Wellington, New Zealand, with another expose on the devious organization known as the United World Colleges. This is a network of 17 schools run by aliens, and in my last video, I told you all about this alien conspiracy, that under each of these schools is a vast underground alien base. And among other things, they maintain an electromagnetic dome above each of these campuses. If I take my hand, because I'm a human, and try to penetrate the force field, you see I can't do it. I could push maybe about 2 centimeters in, and that's it. It doesn't hurt. It feels a little tingly. It doesn't hurt. But clearly the field is not going to let me through no matter how much force I apply to it. And this dome assures that people like me can't get in. And it also protects the campus from foreign ideas that are not approved by management. So if you're going to discuss anything, we can discuss all sorts of peace and world hunger and world politics, but only if it's approved by management, because that's the only way these ideas can breach this electromagnetic wall. Now, in this video, I'm not even going to talk about the aliens. I'm not even really going to talk about conspiracies. I'm going to talk about the surface aspects of these school systems and what they're really doing to the world, because there's a dichotomy here between what UWC says it's doing, which is promoting world peace, and what it's really doing. And what it's really doing is it's really stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. That is the real function of the United World Colleges. Of course, no one here really knows that. I mean, the students don't know that. The staff and the patrons don't really know what they're doing, but I'm telling it to you here. They're stealing from the poor and giving to the rich, and I'm going to explain it all here right now. What really opened my eyes to all of this is demography, the study of demography. Demography, I've been intensely involved in demography for about a year now, and I'm building a big website called demographicdoom.com, and why the world is falling apart, because the demography is the biggest story on the planet right now. You may think that global warming is big, but demography, the arrangement of populations, is even bigger and even more devastating than global warming. What has that got to do with UWC? The great global brain drain, where everyone with talent in the poor countries, in the backward countries, the countries without much opportunity, if you have talent in those countries, you're coming to the rich countries. If you grew up in Albania or Poland or Egypt or Sudan, and you come to a UWC school, you're never going to go back to Egypt and Sudan and Albania. You're going to look for better opportunities for you elsewhere, which is kind of not what UWC is promoting. UWC is promoting that it's helping the world, and that's not true. What the UWC is doing is helping the rich countries steal the talent from the poor countries. Let me illustrate with an example. Let's imagine a hypothetical student from Albania. Call her Ali Albania. And she's 15 years old. She wants to become a doctor, but she's also interested in the UWC, and she applies to her national committee, and the Albanian National Committee admits her to Red Cross Nordic, which is great for her. Instead of having to go to high school in Albania, she's going to this international school where she's going to be exposed to all sorts of other cultures, other ways of life. And supposedly this promotes international understanding. You've got all these kids coming together, mingling with each other, kids from all different cultures, and then in theory going back to their home planets and distributing this peace and understanding that they gained at one of these schools. That's not what Albania is seeing. What does she learn at that school? What she learns at that school is, boy, my home country really sucks. Albania really sucks because you've got all these other countries with all these opportunities, all this wealth, all these things to do that you just don't have in Albania. You don't have the corruption that you have in Albania. You don't have all the difficulties you have of getting things done. So for 2/3 of the students that come to these UWC schools, it's not that they're building any pride in their home country. It's doing the opposite. It's pulling them away from their home country and divorcing them from their home country. And ultimately, they're never going to go back. 2/3, this is my prediction, 2/3 of the students that come to UWC do not go back to their home countries. If you come from a rich country, you'll probably go back to your rich country. But if you come from a poor country, a corrupt country, a country where nothing works and there aren't many opportunities, well, when you're exposed to other cultures, you're going to see that your country isn't so great, and you're going to look for any avenue you have to get the hell out. So, which is great for you, which is what you should be doing. You should always be looking for your best opportunities for yourself, because you can't help the world if you can't help yourself. But it's not helping the world. It's not fulfilling the UWC's mission statement of distributing understanding, because all it's really doing, the UWC is doing, is it is a system for identifying talent in the poor countries and bringing it to the rich countries, thereby making the rich countries even richer in talent and making the poor countries even poorer in talent. So let's look at Albania. She wants to become a doctor, so she goes through 2 years at Red Cross Nordic. Then she applies to pre-med programs. She applies to university programs. And where does she apply to university programs? Well, it's probably going to be the United States, because there is this very devious scholarship system called the Davis Foundation, the Davis Scholarships, which is going to, if anyone in the UWC system graduates from UWC and applies to certain colleges in the United States, the Davis Foundation will guarantee their tuition. They'll guarantee that they can afford to go there.
I grew up in central Tanzania, in a small town called Kintingu. It's about 1,000 people, and I had this great opportunity to attend the United World College, which was, I was extremely lucky to even have the chance to do that. And that essentially allowed me to do the 2 years in Western Norway, the United World College of the Red Cross Nordic United World College, and then I came to Middlebury College after that. So personally, for me, really that was like the defining moment of my life. It was like a watershed moment to going to UWC, because everything that happened after that has really changed my life significantly. And every time I look back at what could have been had I not gone to UWC, I can't even start to imagine what it would have been.
An economics major at Middlebury, he is currently pursuing his MBA at Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management.
It's a program which has two basic objectives. One is to provide amazing students with great scholarship opportunities at American institutions. The second objective is to change the culture, to transform the experience for all students on our partner schools, such as here at Middlebury, so that the world is brought to Middlebury in more obvious and intense ways through a growing number of international students who bring their cultures to the community and also who learn and absorb the American culture.
It turns out these students are motivated, driven, and they've proven to be winners because they've come from faraway countries with scholarships to a final school for 2 years called these United World Schools. And then they get scholarships, if they get in, to one of these American universities like Middlebury. And if they're good enough to do that, when English often isn't their first language, and when the application pools are as competitive as they are today, they are stars coming in. And if we have stars coming in, we'll have superstars going out.
This Davis Scholarship really makes me suspicious. You know, I'm an American, but I'm wondering why an American organization is essentially controlling this international school system, because everybody seems to be focused on getting into a school in America. And that's all because of the corrupting influence of this Davis Scholarship. This Davis Scholarship is only offering scholarships to certain U.S. colleges. It's not offering scholarships to go to some other country. It's pushing these UWC students further and further from their home culture. So why does this American organization have its tentacles into this supposedly international school system?
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy.
So Ali Albania spent 2 years at Red Cross Nordic, then maybe 4 years at some liberal arts college in the United States. Then she applies to medical schools. And where is she going to apply to medical schools? Well, of course she's going to apply to the most prestigious school that she can get into. Maybe she applies to Harvard Medical School and gets into Harvard Medical School, which is great for her, but it's not great for Albania. After medical school, Ali goes on to her residency, where you go and spend 4 years as slave labor at some hospital, learning your craft in real life. She's going to go for the most prestigious hospital that she can be accepted to, which is not going to be back in Albania. So look at this from Ali Albania's standpoint. She spent 15 years in Albania. She thought Albania was the best country in the world, the greatest country in the world, because she didn't know anything else. After that, 14 years spent outside of Albania, becoming a member of a different culture and taking her talents, which were born in Albania, and taking them to a different culture. When she becomes a doctor, she's not going to go back to Albania. She's not going to go and serve the people of Albania in their screwed up medical system. She's going to go someplace where her talents are well used, which is probably going to be one of these rich countries. It's going to be America or Canada or Germany or Scandinavia, someplace where her talents are going to be appreciated. And it all started through this recruiting system of the UWC. The UWC is deliberately going out and trying to find talent through this network, devious network of national committees. And if you worked for the National Committee of Albania, you're not helping Albania. You're just helping the rich countries steal your best talent. And I'm not saying that this is a unique issue to the UWC, because this talent drain is happening anyway. Anyone with a skill, anyone who is ambitious, who wants to make the most of themselves and lives in a country that is very corrupt, is very poverty-stricken, that doesn't have much opportunities, obviously you're want to get out of that country and get to a place where your talents are going to be used better. UWC just helps facilitate that process. So, do you believe me?
No, it's not true. That's impossible. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. No!
I don't really have any proof, because I don't have the statistics that say whether or not students are really going back to their home countries. But those statistics are, in theory, possible. And how you would prove me wrong would be to take a survey of all UWC alums 15 years after they graduated and see if they ever went back to their home country. And I will bet you that in the less developed countries, in the countries with falling populations, in the countries with high corruption and high poverty, they're not going back to those countries, except on holidays. They're not going back to those countries. They're going to the rich countries where their talents can be used better. So no aliens. Aliens have nothing to do with this. Demography is a problem of humans. Humans being able to control their numbers, humans being able to distribute talent in equitable ways, and humans are failing horribly at this task. And civilization is collapsing because of it. Because we can't produce enough babies to sustain our workforce, and because so many people are retiring, governments are destined to collapse. Economies are going to collapse. Things are going to get really terrible here. UWC might not even survive because the class of patrons who are giving money to support this network may suddenly become very poor. They may lose all their money in stock market crashes. So everyone is in jeopardy because of demography, because of the problem of not enough babies, not the right kind of babies, not the wrong people having babies. That's all included in my Demographic Doom project. So look in on demographicdoom.com and give me some feedback if you can. If you think my theory about UWC stealing talent from the world and giving it to the rich countries is right or wrong, let me know about it. I don't know how you're going to let me know about it. You comment on this video or something like that. Tell me I'm full of shit. But I'm the only one who's going to say this. This isn't a peace, love sort of organization. UWC is an organization of theft, where it's stealing talent from the poor, the people who can least afford to lose their talent, and giving it to the people who already have plenty of talent. Bing, 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 cable car.